Don't mind me. Just sinning. So it's Thursday, and usually that's devoted to the top 100 books, but obviously I can't talk about the top 100 books right now because I haven't read one of the top 100 books at the moment. But I do want to let you know that I have started reading Catch-22. I know that I had originally said that I would wait until school started, but I figured I was at the library, so I would check it out. So far, I am not overly impressed. I mean, I'm not that far in, but usually I can tell from this moment whether I'm going to enjoy it or not. But I don't want to make a full judgment yet, because I haven't gotten through the first 100 pages. So I will hold my judgment on that, but just know at the moment, it's not impressing me. But obviously, that's not the book I'm going to talk about today. I am going to be talking about a book because I figure, hey, it's Thursday, it's a book day. Actually, I'm going to be talking about 3 books. This is the Mysterious Benedict Society trilogy, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. The basic premise of this trilogy is that 4 children, Reynard Muldoon, George Sticky Washington, Kate Weatherall, and Constance Contraire, end up together in the house of the mysterious Mr. Benedict. They're called together with this test because they are all intelligent and because they are all orphans. Basically. I say basically because it's actually a little complicated, but I'm obviously not going to go into that right now. The 3 books all follow their own plot, but all of them have to deal with these 4 children, and also Mr. Benedict, and also his 2 assistants. And yes, this is a book series that I would recommend that you read. It's very well done, and I think one of the things that I like about it is that in all 3 books, it's basically the same antagonist. More than just basically, it is the same antagonist. So there is actually something connecting the 3 books together. It's not just 3 books that, granted, have the same protagonist, but all deal with different antagonists. This was probably planned as a trilogy from the beginning, and in all honesty, that's usually the best kind of trilogy. I like it when a series has a plan from the beginning for a specific number of books. That's one of the reasons why I like the Harry Potter series so much. It was planned from the very beginning, so it wasn't just, oh, it's really popular, I should make more books, because that usually devolves into something that's just not as good. And of course, one of the things that makes this book stick out are the 4 main characters. These 4 main characters are very intelligent, but they're intelligent for different reasons. They were called together not because they were exactly the same, but because they came from similar circumstances, and were also very different in the way they view situations. Rainey is very much a problem solver. He can look at a situation and see the puzzle-like quality that it has, and he can solve it in that way. He also has a lot of qualities that shows him that he is a leader. He essentially becomes the leader of these 4 children, whether he wants to be or not. Sticky Washington memorizes everything he reads. That's actually where he gets the nickname Sticky. What he reads sticks inside his mind. So he is incredibly book smart. He's not necessarily good at figuring out puzzles, but he is very good at memorizing information so that he has information to use as he needs to. Which is not to say that he can't solve puzzles. He learns as the books progress. Kate Weatherall, on the other hand, doesn't necessarily use her smarts to get out of problems. Or at least she doesn't use the problem-solving or the memorizing. She does use her wits. The thing that makes Kate stick out from the other kids is that she always carries around a red bucket with her. In this bucket is a variety of objects, from a pen light to a rope. And she can use all of these things to get out of basically any situation. She is a very active individual, and that's her forte. So while Rainey can look at a situation and figure out the puzzle of it and solve it that way, Kate can pretty much get out of any situation by looking at what's around her. So she can look at something like a bookcase and know that all you have to do is push it on its side and you can get up to the window that's slightly higher than you thought you could get to. And then there's Constance, who doesn't really seem like much of an asset at the very beginning. First of all, she is much shorter than the other children, so she can't run as fast. So in many cases, Kate ends up giving her a piggyback ride, which actually doesn't slow Kate down that much, so it's not that much of an inconvenience. But Constance is very opinionated and very stubborn. The test that the other children had to do, she never really did. On the written portion, she didn't answer any of the questions. She just kind of wrote a little poem on it explaining why she felt that this test was stupid. So you don't necessarily think of her as an asset, but she is. I don't want to give away the twist necessarily, but I will say that Constance is much more intelligent than you think at the beginning of the series. And when you find out the twist, her stubbornness doesn't necessarily become as annoying, but it still can be very annoying. But of course, one of the wonderful things about this book is just the interaction between these four characters. They become very close friends throughout this entire series, even with Constance. And one of the things that I really, really appreciated about this series is that it does not try to make it a romance. There's no romance in any of these stories, and it's a wonderful thing to read. With all the stories coming out that just try to force romances on you, it's just refreshing to see something that just has these four children being friends and not looking beyond that. So yes, I would recommend reading the entire series. It doesn't take that long. I can understand how it can be kind of intimidating looking at it this way, but I promise you it's a pretty quick read. So if you've read the Mysterious Benedict Society trilogy, I am curious as to what you thought of it, so let me know down in the comments. And if you've happened to have read the prequel that recently came out about Nicholas Benedict, you can let me know that down in the comments too. And that's all that I have to say today, so I will see you all tomorrow with the YouTube's favorites. See you then.